Note, this video is being recorded in late April 2023. And in April of 2023, the United States job market, the labor market, is starting to shift its power balance away from the employees and it's going back towards the employers. People who have had tremendous opportunities over the last 2 years to get better salaries, to get better titles, to work remotely 100% of the time, those opportunities are starting to dry up. And I thought this would be a good opportunity to share some techniques and some tips on how to interview better. I have actually been trying to give back to the procurement community, and I've been doing a lot of advice on Reddit and my own personal Discord channels. People have been reaching out to me asking for advice on upcoming job interviews, and I thought that this would be a good video for everyone, and I could actually point this video to some of the people who are asking me for advice. Let's get started. The first bit of advice that I'm going to offer you is to develop a 30, 60, 90-day plan before you go into the interview. And this can manifest in a couple of different ways. If you are applying for a more advanced position, if you are applying for a leadership position, I would highly recommend that you actually write a 30, 60, 90-day plan and share it during the interview. This is going to do a couple of things. Number one, in my experience, outside of a resume, I very infrequently see candidates putting materials together for a job interview. So having someone come prepared with a document that says, this is how I envision myself in the role, this is what I plan to bring to the role, I've clearly thought about this ahead of time, is a tremendous asset. And again, it's not something that you see very often. Preparing an artifact that shows that you're putting some extra effort towards the role, and it also helps to get your head organized about what you're actually walking into and what the employer should expect from you, is a really good idea. If you're going for a more junior position and maybe a 30, 60, 90-day plan is not necessarily the most appropriate thing to put in front of a new employer, still go through the exercise. Prepare yourself mentally for what you would walk into and what you were offering the employer. A 30, 60, 90-day plan is a good mental exercise to prepare yourself for a potential interview, and it's a good opportunity to create a new asset or a new piece of information that could also help to impress your potential employer. The second piece of advice that I have for you is to come prepared with good questions. I know that sounds obvious, but I have recently been through a whole slate of interviews with potential candidates, and the questioning, you'd be surprised how often people don't have any questions. I'm not saying this is the end-all be-all for interview formats, but I'm definitely more of a conversational interviewer, especially at this point in my career and in this point in my life. So there may have been pre-interviews before a candidate gets to me, and I just want to get a feel for who they are as a human being and what they want from the company. And I am shocked with the amount of times that people don't have questions about the company or the culture. Here's a simple one that you can ask a potential employer that really should open them up. What challenges is your department, your company facing right now? And what can I do to help ease those problems? Write that one down. That'll get the interviewer talking. And that's my next point. Try to have a balanced conversation. Try to make sure that the person that is interviewing is talking somewhat. It gives you a chance to catch your breath. It gives you a chance to sort of metabolize the things that they're saying. And it can help you pivot. And you should sort of kind of mentally reflect on how the interview's going while the other person's talking. And seeing if you're like, maybe I didn't answer that other question very well. Maybe this gives you a chance to circle back and give more details. It's hard to do that when you're actively listening and you're going back and forth. But if you get a chance to breathe a little bit, and if someone's kind of going over some processes or something else, it gives you a chance to just do a minor course correction during your interview. Now, there's another side to that. If you are getting to the point where you're kind of abusing that, and you're trying to get your interviewer to talk so much that they're eating up all of the time in the interview, somebody recently tried to do this to me, the interviewer's going to know that too. It has to be a balance. It most definitely has to be a balance between the two of you. It really should be conversational. The last recommendation that I have in this video is to do your homework about the company and ask smart, insightful questions about the place you're potentially working at. So see if they've been in the news recently. Also, for positive reasons, if you see that the company's having like a bad layoff round or some financial problems, you could ask those questions and maybe there is a thoughtful way to integrate that into the conversation. But just be careful about how you are doing that. But in general, do your homework about the company. Ask smart, insightful questions. Don't just ask like, hey, what's your 401k? What's your vacation policy? Ask questions about what the company does, what their mission is. Try to use those questions as a way of conveying that you've done homework about the company. I'm shocked at the amount of external candidates that apply for jobs with my company that don't do that. They don't do any homework about the company. Maybe there's some mild review of the job description and some questions about the job description, but there's very rarely questions about the company, about the culture, about something that we've done in the news recently, and you should absolutely do your homework about what you're walking into. Do the research, ask the questions, have a thoughtful, meaningful conversation about where you are going in your career and where this company is going and where you can take each other. So that's it for today. I don't want to burden you guys with too much information. These are some big ones that I have noticed recently in my own interviewing processes, and I wanted to share this with you to help prepare you and to hopefully get you to a better place during your interview process. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll be back with another one in 2 weeks.